Okay, so it's 7:30. I've just woken up earlier than I normally would on a Tuesday because I'm giving blood this morning at 8:30, so I need to get up a little bit early, make sure I drink some water, and then make my way over to Oxford Street where I'm going to be going to give blood. I'm also so tired. I'm just having flapjacks, so I don't have low blood sugar and stuff when I go in to take my blood. I also realised this is probably one of the first times I'm actually taking you guys into central London because I just don't go. I haven't had a need to, it's been lockdown. This is one of the first times. How fun. So then I got the tube to go to the blood donation centre in Oxford Street. So here is some of the exercises they told us to do to kind of speed up the process of giving blood, because you have to do it within 15 minutes, otherwise they bin your sample. This was the first time I actually gave blood. I was worried about it because I have really hard to find and get veins, but it actually went smoothly. Here you can see my blood filling up in the background. And then obviously the best part about the day, getting the snack, crisps and a bit of juice. And then after I gave blood, I went to look at the Christmas lights in Regent Street and Oxford Street. I've just finished my blood donation, walking down Regent Street now. I think I'm just going to walk to Green Park, get a feel for London whilst I'm here, and obviously go back. And I've got loads of seminars and stuff this afternoon. So I'm basically just taking in the sights. The Christmas lights are up, but they're not on. But I'll come back at night before Christmas and see them all on. It'll be very nice. So on my little walk, I walked past Carnaby Street and Soho, and then walked back down Regent Street. I mean, the lights look so much better when they're on, but you guys will see that in an upcoming vlog. But then I kind of got sidetracked, missed my tube stop, and ended up walking through Hyde Park. And you can also see the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment practicing over there. That was cool. And then I got the tube to come home, but it was super nice being in the park and just having a bit of fresh air. Okay, so I'm now back from giving blood. It's gone super dark out. I don't know why. I think it's just about to rain. So I've got all the lights on. I kind of regret that little walk back. I ended up accidentally walking past the tube station I was gonna walk to, so I had to then go to the next one. So I ended up literally walking about 3.5 miles, and if you know, when you give blood, you kind of feel a bit weak afterwards. So now I'm feeling a bit so I feel like I'm just gonna take it easy the rest of the afternoon. But right now it's still kind of early, it's 11ish or something. So I want to do my reading for my classes tomorrow. I've got moral theory to reading, a medical law reading to do, and then have lunch. I've got a class for medical malpractice at 2. So that's what I'm basically going to be doing. So then I went on and read a few journal articles for moral theory. We're doing rights and persons this week. Kind of interesting, but there's so much reading to get through, as you can see here. Okay, so I've done my reading kind of for moral theory. So we're kind of looking at what is a person, who is able of being a person, and what qualities you need. Some people think you just need to be a human being. Some people think that you need to have a thought process and desires in order to be a person. And then if you are a person, what rights you get and interests, and should you have them, and what that qualifies you to do. That whole argument can play into whether plants and animals have rights, whether abortion's okay because obviously it's a fetus or whatever, whether they have rights. Looking into life support, if you're what they call a human vegetable, whether you have a right then. It's really interesting stuff, to be honest. I really like it, but it's just the way it's articulated in these articles is so boring, and you just think spice it up, come on guys. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have a quick lunch break now. So for lunch I had duck pancakes and paired it with some rocket salad leaves, and then I went into my class on causation for medical malpractice.
That might be much easier with Huntington's, but just much less doable with less serious or less likely conditions. And again, I certainly see in ABC there's scope for something that is.
Look how lovely. Just finished my class. Oh, okay, let me set you up. So, class is finished. It was quite good. I mean, I always find those classes are very long because the lecturer just talks and talks and talks. And a 2-hour class with no breaks, no breakout rooms, literally just him talking, no slides, nothing. It's just him talking the whole time for 2 hours. and it ends up being about 2.5 hours, so it drags, and it's a long class. It's interesting, but I don't like the delivery of the class. Anyway, so now I'm thinking I'm going to make something to eat. I think I'm going to do spaghetti bolognese because I just feel like I want carbs. I feel drained. And then I've got to go to the battalion in like an hour and a half. I've got to leave to go there to do my phase 0 training, so yeah, best get cracking. So for dinner I cooked a spaghetti bolognese, pretty much a good go-to. I just felt like I needed the carbs. So I've had dinner and I'm basically just getting dressed again to go to the battalion. Also, I put my Christmas lights up earlier. What do you guys think? Basically, the only lights I have in London with me are this and a disco ball, but I thought, you know what? I love walking by people's houses and like seeing Christmas lights, so I was like, I'm going to spread some joy and I'm going to put mine up, but this is like the best I could do. Let me just show you properly. Like, it looks better from the outside. It's a shame because I've got 2 windows that I couldn't do it with the other window, but like, whatever, right? So now, yeah, I'm basically just going to get my stuff out to go to the battalion. Today we're doing phase 0 training. So, oh my gosh. So basically, phase 0 training is what you do in between the stages of having been sponsored by a unit with the army and then actually going to your assessment centre and passing it. So in the in-between, obviously you have to wait for the assessment centre dates. It can take like months, really, in the current climate. Yeah, you do phase training. You go on a Tuesday night to where I go to the battalion, and you do things like learning about rank structure, learning about like what it's like in the field. You do PT, which is like physical exercise. We got to do weapon handling, and we got to learn about just generally, you know, the history of the army, the history of our regiment. I have no idea what we're actually going to be doing tonight because they don't tell you basically until you rock up. But I know that we're not going to be doing PT, which is good because obviously I've given blood. I literally feel like I couldn't do it because of lockdown. We're not allowed to do any physical exercise because we're not technically in the army yet, so it's not like an employment thing. It'd be like a group exercise thing, and obviously that's banned. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. Every time you go, different people, and you don't know what you're doing until you get there, so it's kind of like you get thrown in the deep end, but it's always dead fun. And even, you know, if you're being shouted at, I don't know, I find it quite enjoyable. So yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight. So I get the bus to the battalion, went over to the battalion. The bus ride's about half an hour, but I couldn't really get any shots of the battalion, so here's what it looks like from the outside. I felt really suspect taking pictures of it on the outside. On the way back on the bus, we went over the river, so here is kind of a river shot, and I always think it looks super nice, especially at night. Okay, so I'm back from training. It's like 9:30 now. So basically training's from 7 till 9. So I'm pretty much just gonna have a little snack and then go to bed, I think. And I've also got a bit of reading to do for tomorrow's class too. Today we did field craft for the first hour, which is basically just like knowledge that you need to know when you're like going into battle. And then the second hour was drill, which is like, it's basically, it's hard to describe. What we were doing is basic drill, so just standing to attention, at ease, like bit of parade. Basically, if you don't know anything about like the army, whenever you see them sort of lined up and they do the, you know, do the whole thing, it's just kind of like that. Editing me watched that back and was like, it's nothing like that at all, so it's easy just to show you. Okay, so I'm struggling to find an angle where you get the full body in, but you can kind of just get the gist. So when you're at ease, which is basically how you stand most of the time on parade, when you're like standing around or whatever, it's like this. Feet are shoulder width apart and your hands are in the small of your back, so that's at ease. Then they will shout, I don't even want to shout it because they all go, "Squadron!" So they're like, "Squadron!" And that's where you like basically pop up, so your arms are like straight, like that, puff your chest out like that. So you go from that to that. And then from here, they shout "Attention!" And that's when you lift your left foot up. You stamp it down if you're in boots, or you just place it if you're in shoes, because otherwise it hurts your feet. And whilst you do that, you bring your arms to the side, and your kind of hands are like that, if that makes sense. You kind of like tuck your like finger around your thumb. So you go from at ease to squadron, attention, and then they taught us also how to do turns. So from here, you basically turn your feet, and then you lift up and then down. And if you want to go back the other way, you turn your feet up, down. You basically always lift the leg that you're moving with, if that makes sense. So if I'm turning to the right, then I'm going to lift this leg up and move it down. But if I'm moving to the left, move your right leg up. And then your feet, when you're in that position, are at like a 45-degree angle. So to run through it, it's basically at ease, squadron, and then you go tension, and then you turn, and that's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And yeah, it was good, although drill literally outside. I was like in my coat and like still shaking. I was like literally thinking, please stop like shivering. And then literally the corporal comes up to me and he's like, cold are we? And I'm like, yeah. I always like it as well because there's so many new people that come each time. Because of COVID, there's only like 20 people that can be there. But they're always like different people when I go, and people that I've literally never seen before in my whole life, and they're all at different stages of the application process and joining, so it's pretty interesting to see like why they've joined and like where they'll be going to and like why. But yeah, that's pretty much it now until next week. I've just got to do my reading for tomorrow's class. So I decided to have a little bit of a snack, which was this chocolate cake and a bit of vegan ice cream, and then I cracked on reading my Emily Jackson textbook for medical law, which I obviously have on Wednesday mornings, so I kind of needed to get down this reading ASAP before my class at 10 a.m, but it took the longest time. So it's hitting midnight, so that means I'm literally having to go to bed. I've got a class tomorrow at 10 a.m, but I've still got reading to do. My second class tomorrow, I'm so behind, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get up for about 7 a.m, so I'm thinking, you know what, 12, good time to go to bed, get an average amount of sleep. So I'm going to end this vlog here. I hope you guys liked it. A bit different today, I know. Showed you also a different day, because I feel like the last few vlogs have either been a Monday or a Wednesday, because they were normally my busiest days. But you know, Tuesdays are picking up for me too. So hope you enjoyed this vlog, day in my life. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.